Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving right into a brilliant grounding workbook from Playprint Pals to tackle a deeply frustrating daily mystery for so many of us. You know the exact one I'm talking about. You send your tween or teen off to school, they're looking bright-eyed and ready to conquer the world, and then, right around third period, their energy literally falls off a cliff. So today, we're unpacking the biology behind that infamous mid-morning crash, and more importantly, how we can use high-protein breakfasts to give them steady, reliable focus all morning long.
Here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll start with the 10 a.m. focus crash, take a look inside the teenage brain, explore the blood sugar roller coaster, introduce the protein power formula, give you some actual 10-minute breakfast fixes, and wrap it all up with a weekly action plan. Let's get into it. Section 1. The 10 a.m. focus crash, a shared challenge. Okay, so we've all seen this stark contrast, right? You've got the energized student at 8 a.m., and by 10 a.m., they're just staring blankly at a whiteboard. But why does this happen exactly at 10 in the morning? Well, it's pretty simple biology. 10 a.m. is when the biological bill comes due. Think about it. If their morning started with a heavy dose of carbohydrates, your standard bowl of cereal, a bagel, maybe a pastry, their body processes that rapid energy instantly. The pancreas then aggressively overcorrects. It sends out a massive flood of insulin, pulling all that glucose right out of their bloodstream. So by 10 a.m., the brain's fuel supply is suddenly cut off. Their focus doesn't just wander. Biologically speaking, it completely crashes.
And what does that crash actually look like in the real world? It's that classic 10 a.m. fog. You'll start noticing increased fidgeting because, honestly, the body is desperate for some kind of stimulation. You'll get those glazed-over, buffering computer eyes, a noticeably slower response time, and those sudden, totally unexplained mood dips. If this sounds painfully familiar to you, breakfast might just be the absolute missing piece to this puzzle.
Moving on to Section 2, Inside the Teenage Brain, a growing engine.
To really understand this, you have to realize that the teenage brain is in its absolute peak growth stage. It's essentially a massive construction zone. It's building new neural pathways, it's pruning unused connections, and it's heavily developing the prefrontal cortex, which is the area responsible for complex decision-making and impulse control. All of this heavy lifting requires a massive, oversized percentage of the body's total energy. It's basically a high-performance engine running on overdrive 24/7. Because this engine demands so much energy, your teen's brain runs on fuel, and man, it runs out fast. It is uniquely sensitive to fuel dips. Unlike an adult brain, which, might just make us a little grumpy if we skip a meal, the teenage brain reacts to a sudden drop in glucose by essentially shutting down non-essential systems. And yes, paying attention in math class is considered a non-essential system when the brain thinks it's starving. So if the tank isn't filled correctly first thing in the morning, the whole system just stalls out by mid-morning.
Which brings us to Section 3, the blood sugar roller coaster, spike versus steady.
Just look at the dramatic contrast between these two completely different fuel paths. A sugary breakfast causes that rapid spike we talked about, followed by that massive insulin-driven crash. That leaves your teen with terrible focus, high hunger, and a really bad mood right at 10 a.m. But contrast that with the reliable, steady road of a protein-rich morning. Protein digests slowly, it meters out a nice steady energy curve. This gives them sustained focus, satisfied hunger, and highly stable moods all the way until lunch.
The science behind this stability really rests on three core pillars. First, glucose stability directly prevents those brutal 10 a.m. crashes. Second, protein literally provides the amino acids needed to build neurotransmitters. Those are the very chemicals that allow brain cells to communicate and focus in the first place. And third, as we've seen, adolescent brains are just incredibly sensitive to fuel dips. So, by providing protein, you're basically biochemically armor-plating their ability to learn.
Section 4. The protein power formula, building the perfect plate.
So how do we fix this? Enter the steady focus formula. Protein plus fiber plus healthy fat equals sustained morning energy. What makes this so incredibly powerful is that it's a completely unbeatable mix-and-match system. You absolutely do not have to be a gourmet chef to pull this off. This combination naturally slows digestion, holds the line against the 10 a.m. fog, and honestly, best of all, it gives teens the freedom and flexibility to choose their own favorite ingredients.
Now for Section 5. 10-minute breakfast fixes that are real and doable. Look, let's be real, mornings are completely chaotic. So here are 4 guiding principles from Playprint Pals for morning survival. Number 1, always prioritize protein first. Number 2, prep ahead whenever possible to save those precious morning minutes. Number 3, keep healthy options visible so the easy choice is naturally the right choice. And finally, hydration matters. Often what looks like early morning sluggishness is actually just dehydration masquerading as fatigue.
Let's look at some fast options. Here's our first recipe spotlight: Speedy egg and avocado toast. In literally under 10 minutes, you toast some whole grain bread for your fiber base, mash a little avocado for those healthy fats the growing brain absolutely craves, and top it off with an egg for a high-quality protein hit. It tastes great, and it keeps them full and completely focused well past that dreaded 10 a.m. mark.
Now, for those highly rushed mornings where just getting them to sit at a table requires an actual miracle, the grab-and-go smoothie is your ultimate solution. You just add a solid protein source, like some Greek yogurt, toss in some fruit for fiber, and maybe some chia seeds for healthy fats, blend it up, and pour. It's an incredible way for a teen to grab their fuel and literally sprint for the bus while keeping their blood sugar perfectly steady.
Or, if you want to eliminate morning prep entirely, overnight protein oats are an absolute game changer. Just mix oats with a protein source, like milk and yogurt, store it in a mason jar in the fridge overnight, and your teen can just open the door, grab it, and eat all week long. You prep once on Sunday, and you've guaranteed a steady supply of brain fuel for days. Doesn't get much easier than that.
And finally, Section 6, your weekly action plan to make it happen.
Let's turn all this blood sugar science into a highly practical daily routine. The night before, just take a moment to prep your ingredients. In the morning, offer your teen a couple of choices to give them some autonomy. They love that. At breakfast time, keep the healthy food visible. Throughout the morning, just encourage them to drink plenty of water. And hey, at the end of the week, celebrate the small wins. Did they actually make it through a Wednesday without a 10 a.m. crash? Celebrate that. It makes this whole transition completely manageable for the whole family.
Also, if this explainer sparked your curiosity and you're the kind of person who wants to dive even deeper, I highly recommend checking out these 3 excellent books: Brain Food by Dr. Lisa Mosconi, The Teenage Brain by Dr. Francis E. Jensen, and Eat Complete by Dr. Drew Ramsey. They go so deep into the profound connections between nutrition, brain development, and mental focus. Really, really fantastic resources.
So as we wrap up today, I want to leave you with this one question to think about. What single 10-minute swap are you going to make tomorrow morning to rewrite your teen's 10 a.m. reality? Remember, small, consistent changes create massive daily wins. So pick just one recipe or habit from the Steady Focus formula, try it out first thing tomorrow, and help your teen conquer that morning fog once and for all. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and here's to a much more focused, energized morning tomorrow.